Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the swearing-in ceremony for Lourdes Barroso de Padilla. What an evening it is. It may be raining outside, but it is sunny and a great day right here in council chambers. Would you help me recognize our elected officials, starting with my colleagues Liz Brown, Mitch Brown, Rob Dorns, Shayla Favor, Emmanuel Remy, and Priscilla Tyson. We have so many past and present elected officials that are with us today. Would all past and present elected officials please stand so we can recognize you? We have Senator Herschel Craig, State Representative David Leland, former council member Fran Ryan, and former State Representative Larry Price. We are here today to swear in a friend, a fighter, and a community leader as member of Columbus City Council. We call Columbus City Council chambers the People's House. It's a place where every single week folks elected by their peers come together to pass legislation. We come together to solve problems and, most importantly, to hear from our residents. Decades ago, this chamber looked like a corporate boardroom. It was much older, it was much wider, and it was almost all men. That is not what this council looks like today. Our council is a majority people of color council. The average age of a council member looks pretty similar to the average age of our city. And today, we welcome the first Latina to serve on this city's chamber. Talent is distributed evenly, but opportunity is not. That's why I'm so excited for the opportunity to serve alongside our newest council member. Lourdes Barroso de Padilla knows what it means to fight for change, to create new opportunities for folks who didn't always feel welcomed at 90 West Broad Street. I try to govern by the philosophy that if it's not for all, then it's not for us. And we all know that Lourdes is going to be a council member for all. Now, I am excited to welcome Lilleana Cavanaugh, Executive Director of the Ohio Commission on Latino Affairs, to the podium.
Buenas noches. Good evening and welcome. Bienvenidos a su casa. Welcome to your city council. Columbus has changed a lot in the recent past. We are home to more than 156,000 immigrants who make Columbus home. We represent 10% of the population of this emerging and vibrant city. All of us come from many places with different stories, different accents, different pilgrimages, but all of those different paths led us to this place that we now call home. And tonight, we want to think of all those immigrants, migrant and seasonal workers who join us in this special night when we're making history. Ohio has been a place where many refugees have been welcomed, but particularly in our city, we welcomed in between 1983 and 2015 over 16,000 refugees that made Columbus home. And although those numbers started to trickle since 2017 when we welcome over 4,000 people, we are delighted to know that we as a city are getting ready to welcome over 1,500 refugees next fiscal year. Whether you are from Somalia, Bhutan, Democratic Republic of Congo, Iraq, Afghanistan, Central, South America, Myanmar, Far East, Near East, no matter where you come from, your voice matters. Latinos in particular, we are growing strong in Ohio. We are now 500,000 of Latinos in the state of Ohio. And that is a big number that we're very proud of. We continue to grow. Spanish is the most common foreign language that is spoken in our city right now. There are over 63,000 Latinos who make the city of Columbus their home. No matter where you come from or where you're going to, the significance of tonight overwhelms our hearts. Dreaming of Cuba, coming to America, trying to build a better future for their children. A young girl that wanted to be engaged, who became involved with City Year to work and to help the community. A good leader, a mentor. And today, that American dream becomes crystallized into reality when we have the pleasure of having the first member of our Latino community elected to City Council. You know when they say, "We the people"? Tonight, with much pride, all of us say, we the people, empowered by our democratic rights, have elected the first Latina to City Council. We the people, whether we are refugees, migrants, immigrants, new Americans, whatever you want to call us, regardless of what history we bring with us, we used our voice and we submitted our votes, and now we know what we can accomplish when we come together. As we join together here as a familia, as a family that we are, we know that all of us, Lourdes, her family, all of us here, had to leave a lot behind to create this American dream. But the American dream is so much alive, and we know that our family is not just those relatives by blood. Our family is each one of you, each new American that lives in our city, and our dreams and our ambitions flow together. And we know that as a familia, we will all get behind our Councilwoman, Lourdes Barroso de Padilla, to make sure that everyone is included in our city and that everyone feels that they do matter. So with that in mind, and in deep gratitude for the opportunities that are rendered to us in this land of democracy, I ask all of you to please stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Lourdes' great-nephew and niece, Lilleana and Ezekiel Barroso. Thank you so much, Lilleana and Ezekiel, for that great job. And then for a special acknowledgement of the land where we stand and who helped to build it, please welcome Lilleana Padilla Barroso and Dirion Talley.
Buenas noches. On behalf of our family, friends, and community, thank you. On behalf of our family, friends, and community, we would like to thank each and every one of you for being here and supporting my mom and our family. We are excited at what we will accomplish.
We honor our elders past, present, and future, and those who have stewarded this land throughout generations. We recognize that government, academic, and cultural institutions were founded upon and continue to enact exclusions and erasure of indigenous peoples.
We also respectfully acknowledge the enslaved people, primarily of African descent, who provided with little to no recognition. Today we are indebted to the labor of the Black and brown bodies that continue to work in the shadow for our collective benefit.
May this acknowledgement demonstrate a commitment to working to dismantle ongoing legacies of oppression and inequities.
May we learn from our past and do better for our people in the future.
To lead us in collective moment of reflection, please welcome community leader and CEO of Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Central Ohio, Elizabeth Martinez.
Good evening and buenas noches a todos. I'd like to greet members of City Council and all elected officials that are here this evening. I'm honored to be part of this historic event this evening, not only because of what it means for Council Member Lourdes Barroso de Padilla and her family, but what it means for our community and what it means for our city. As I prepare to lead us through a moment of prayer, it is not lost on me the significance of this moment. We're the daughter of working class Latino immigrants from Cuba who came to the United States because they deeply believed in opportunity, democracy, and justice, is being sworn in as our first Latina councilwoman for the city of Columbus. During Councilmember Lourdes' campaign, she often spoke about how she believed that her election to City Council serves as an example that you can be a girl from the east side of Columbus who hustles hard and becomes the manifestation of your ancestors' wildest dreams. So when one girl from the east side of Columbus commissions a girl from the northeast side of the island of Puerto Rico to deliver the invocation at a ceremony that represents the manifestation of the prayers and dreams of our ancestors, I understand that the only way for us to elevate a prayer this evening is to do so in the original tongue of our ancestors in honor of the dreams and prayers that preceded this event. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Padre eterno y celestial, creador y mayordomo sobre toda cosa, invitamos tu presencia. Te damos gracias por tu amor, tu misericordia y benevolencia. Dios, sabemos que tú has separado este momento en tu agenda divina, una etapa de gran y mayor responsabilidad que le corresponde a tu hija Lourdes fungir, en servicio y mayor devoción a su llamado, a su comunidad y su ciudad. Dios, te pedimos encarecidamente que tú la dotes de sabiduría, discernimiento y capacidad mientras ella y sus colegas toman decisiones de gran importancia para esta ciudad. Que se mantenga firme en sus principios y valores, en el compromiso de velar por el bienestar de todos en esta ciudad. Que ella pueda amplificar su voz y utilizar su posición de influencia para representar a los desplazados y silenciados por esta sociedad. Que como agente de cambio en esta posición de concejal, ella tome la responsabilidad por el cual tú la has llamado, sin miedos, sin enfrentas y sin temor. Dios, pedimos tu cobertura y protección sobre su esposo, sus hijas y su familia. Y Dios, oramos por esta ciudad y pedimos tu divina intervención en los asuntos de gran importancia para esta ciudad. Que tus cerrojos nos protejan y que seas tú gobernando a través de un liderato comprometido con una agenda donde exista prosperidad para todos por igual en esta comunidad. Gracias te damos, Dios. Amén.
Muchísimas gracias, Elizabeth, por ese mensaje tan importante. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for that invocation and all the words so deep and meaningful for all of us. Council member-elect Barroso de Padilla has asked 3 community leaders and public servants to speak tonight. She wants them to speak about the ideals of leadership, community, and service. These individuals have dedicated their lives to the service of others through the military, AmeriCorps, and also nonprofit work. 2 of them have served as elected officials. One of them is helping to build the bench of active and engaged citizens, and all of them have played a role in shaping our collective futures. Please join me in welcoming Council Member Priscilla Tyson, Enrique Henry Guzman, and DeJuan Stevens. Please join me.
Good evening. Tonight is such a special night in the city of Columbus. I am so honored to be able to make remarks regarding my friend, Lourdes Barroso de Padilla, who I've known since she was 17 years old. Lourdes, there are many things that I would like to share with you regarding my almost 15 years of experience that I've had with the residents of Columbus in various roles that I've had with Columbus City Council. However, I'm going to stick to the script and discuss the leadership as I was asked to do so. The concepts of leadership that I most value honors the humanity in all of us. Lourdes, as you know, leadership is about service above self. This is service to the greater good, which means personal sacrifices. And for her family and her friends who are here, who are honoring her tonight, there will be many personal sacrifices, but there will also be some great joys. It will take courage to make unpopular decisions, curiosity to learn, and wisdom to seek sage counsel. All of your endeavors may not result in a perceived as a victory, but as long as you remain steadfast in your resolve to do what is right for the greater good, you will be winning. You will always win. As the critics come, and they will come, I'm reminded of a quote from Theodore Roosevelt. The credit belongs to the man or woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives violently, who errs, and who comes short again and again. When I first met Lourdes, she was applying to be in the very first class of City Year Columbus. And I can remember as we were doing those interviews, Lourdes coming in and sharing why she should be a core member and a youth leader. Now, mind you, we were always making sure when we were recruiting young people that they were already leaders. Lourdes was a leader at 17 years old. So now I say to you, Lourdes, as council member-elect, Lourdes Barroso de Padilla always remain in the arena. Great leaders experience hardship, but they continue. The naysayers stay on the sidelines, and they will criticize as they lack the courage to lead. I trust you will succeed more often than you come short, and because of your wins, the residents of Columbus will be victorious. As I conclude, I will highlight another leadership concept reminiscent of my days with Lourdes at City Year. During Robert Kennedy's 1966 Day of Affirmation Address, and Lourdes is smiling, also known as the Ripple of Hope. This speech was at the University of Cape Town in South Africa, and he said, "Each time a man stands up for an ideal or acts to improve the lot of others or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope, and crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring. Those ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. The City Year wave has resulted in the ripples throughout our community. And as I stand here, I see Senator Herschel Craig, who was a part of City Year, Elizabeth Brown, who was a part of City Year. We have change agents throughout this country, like Council Member-elect Barroso de Padilla, who are creating a collective impact and I am proud to be a part of the foundation of which council member-elect has emerged as a strong advocate for our community. Lourdes, I say to you, please continue to be the ripple of hope for the changes that our residents need in Columbus, especially our residents of color. This council has placed a high priority on racial equity and inclusion, which are concepts that you understand exceptionally well. Your leadership will certainly be valued in these areas. You should lean on those core values that we have embraced while working with City Year. They will serve you well as a council member. So as I leave this seat on 12/31 of 2021, I leave this dais, I know you are well prepared to lead with passion and will listen to others, to lead with perseverance and keep going on when it is even very tough, to lead with honesty, being honest with yourself and others, and listening to feedback from your team when it may not be what you want to hear. You are prepared to lead with integrity and not compromise your values. Finally, remember that God is in control. I encourage you to lean on your faith and lean on your family, because with faith, all things are possible. Ultimately, you are here to make this city better than you found it. And you know that's all City Year. Always leave it better than you found it. With that, my friend, Lourdes Barroso de Padilla, I pass the torch to you. God bless you.
Well, it's like home week for me. Distinguished members of council, distinguished guests, members of family, Lourdes. I used to sit in the chair right over there and looking at council members while we did the people's work. And now you have that opportunity to do the people's work. And what a great opportunity that's going to be for you. I am so elated as someone that has lived in this state for so many years, coming from Puerto Rico as a 5-year-old, to never speaking the English language, to be able to stand here and see for the first time in the city of Columbus, one of the largest cities in the largest city in the state of Ohio, to elect, for the community to elect a Latina. That deserves a major applause. Lourdes Barroso de Padilla. Before the year is out, that name will roll off your tongues. Lourdes Barroso de Padilla. Welcome to the city of Columbus and welcome to City Council. So, there's not much more that I can say to you today, except that I'm elated that I see so many friends and members of the legislature, former members of the legislature that are here today, old friends that I had as colleagues here in City Council. And to me, it's such an honor to be here, to be a community servant, to be able to say that while we pass this torch on to leaders such as you, I hope, myself, Mitch Brown, and others that are leaving here, this council, that we hope that we're leaving the seats warm and a better place for you to continue to do the people's work. And so I am so grateful to be here. And I implore all the young people out there and all women out there to look towards Lourdes Barroso de Padilla as someone that will continue to extend those hands to open the door for others to come in. because I know she'll do that for you. She'll do that for you. God bless you. Las bendiciones para ti y toda tu familia. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. I am excited to be here to celebrate a friend, a mentor, my very first boss at the first job I've ever had. This is an exciting day. And so service is defined as the action of helping or doing work for someone else. This idea has been a cornerstone of my life. At an early age, my mother taught me the value of service to others. She taught me that giving back and serving it doesn't only make you feel good, but it's the right thing to do. I began my life of service at Ohio Avenue Elementary School, where I met my first group of City Year Corps members. They led us in service projects around the school and even during spring break at Camp City Year. This was where I first met Lourdes. More on that in a little bit. But I joined Boy Scouts, where I later rose to the ranks of Eagle Scout. I got involved in the missions department at my church and even served in student government from elementary through high school. All of these experiences brought me to where I am today. As the president of the Central Ohio Young Black Democrats, I have the privilege and honor of not only serving my community, but recruiting, training, and supporting candidates like Lourdes who hold those same values of service and giving back to the communities they wish to serve. In 2011, I had the opportunity to serve with City Year Columbus. This was really when I first got to see Lourdes really in action as she served as the executive director. Her commitment and dedication of service to the city of Columbus was and still is authentic. She leads by example and does not hold back. As Columbus continues to grow, it is important that we build a bench of leaders with a passion for service, leaders who serve with consistency and intentionality, and it is important that we as a collective body rally behind them and support the work being done to better our communities. Finally, as I wrap up, to all of our council members, but specifically to you, Lourdes, stay true to your values and your beliefs. Remember that you were elected because somebody believes that you can make a difference. We are here today because we support you, we are proud of you, and we have your back. So congratulations, Lourdes, and Godspeed.
Thank you so much. And I believe now we've come to the point of the oath of office. So Judge-elect Mike McAllister.
I met Lourdes on the campaign trail. We bonded over similar backgrounds, similar upbringings, and our love for family and community. And it's been such a great honor and a pleasure to get to know her and call her a friend. So at this point, I would like to call Lourdes Barroso de Padilla to take the oath of office. I ask you to place your right hand on the Bible and your left hand raised, and repeat after me, please. I, Lourdes Barroso de Padilla,
I, Lourdes Barroso de Padilla,
solemnly swear
that
I will support
the
Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Charter of the City of Columbus, Ohio,
and the Charter of the City of Columbus, Ohio,
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of the office of Member of City Council of the City of Columbus, Ohio, during my continuance in said office. Thank you. I'd like to present to you Councilwoman Lourdes Barroso de Padilla.
Whew. Not bad for a kid from the east side, huh? I remember once a mentor of mine said that every now and then in life you just have to stop and you have to breathe and you have to take in a moment. So I'm going to do that now if we want to do that collectively. I was taught that the four most important words that we can ever share with another person is thank you and I'm sorry. And I hope that I'm going to do more of the former instead of the latter. So I'm going to spend a moment sharing some gratitude and appreciation that I have. First to Council President Hardin, who had to leave a little early because he's traveling, for his guidance and support, and to the rest of my colleagues, now colleagues, and advisors, even for the two that are leaving. I mean, Priscilla at this point knows she can't get rid of me. She's known me since I was 17. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your guidance and your leadership of our city. I'm excited to work with you together as a team. To Lily, to Elizabeth, to Enrique, thank you for being role models and mentors to so many in our community, for always leading with love. Councilmember Tyson, thank you for your decades of service to the city, for giving me and so many young people like me the opportunity to serve all those years ago. You have helped to change the trajectory of my life, as I know you've helped to change the trajectory of so many others. You have, in City or Speak, so many ripples and starfish out there, and thank you. Dewan, I have had the privilege of watching you grow into a remarkable young man and leader. I'm still going to call you young because I'm older. Take that, because everybody won't. And I will take your sage advice. Judge McAllister, this has been an incredible journey that we've been on, and I'm excited to continue our journey of public service together, learning from each other and growing together. You have not met her yet, but I'm very excited. You'll hear from her in just a minute. But she is not only an alumnus of the Latina Mentoring Academy, which is a program that I've gotten to lead for the past 12 years. I'm about to be 13. But she's also the newest member of my staff, Amaris Lemus, who you will meet later on this afternoon. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for joining. You know, neither one of us know what we're getting into, but we're going to learn together. To my many nieces and nephews who you got the opportunity to hear a little from today, and you'll hear a little bit more from them, they keep me humble, as kids do, and young people, as strong, smart young people do, and are my continuous reminders to show up as my best self. To my BPR, my husband, my ride or die, thank you for being on this crazy ride with me. To Eva and Valentina, being your mommy is my greatest honor, and I hope that every day I make you as proud of me as you are today. And finally, to my mom and my dad and my sisters, who made a collective sacrifice to leave Cuba and make a place called Ohio, or Ohio, home with nothing but faith and hope. You built a community that became family, and I can never repay you for the many sacrifices, the extra work shifts, the U-Haul vans to move me to some new city, the Tupperware containers full of food to ensure that I ate, as a core member and a staff member working long hours at a nonprofit. But I hope today puts a little bit of a dent into that debt. And lastly, I want to go off script for just a second because I stayed on script so I could try to keep my emotions in check. As you can see, I'm doing a really good job. I woke up this morning with a leader in my heart, and I had to say his name aloud, especially because there are so many members of our community here today, and that's Ruben Herrera. Rubén Herrera. I also knew Rubén since I was very young. He knew my family. He was a leader in the community. Also, he was the second executive director of City Year. He was an activist in our community, really like a padrino to many of us. And I thought of him today because actually one of our last conversations, and for those of you who know Rubén will appreciate this, I bumped into him and said, Rubén, I think I want to run for office. And he said, interesting. I think I like this. I think I like this idea. And then he called me back, and he gave me some sage advice that I will carry with me, and I will miss getting that advice from him and getting that counsel from him, but I hope that it continues to guide our community, and I know that his spirit lives on in all of us. He used to say often, trust the circle, so I am trusting the circle and believing that he is somewhere with my dad and sister shining down on all of us today. So, my parents taught me, and they taught me through action, that you don't need to like everybody, but you need to love them. And you need to find a way to express that love. And at a very young age, I found that service was my best expression of love. And so that's why I've dedicated my life to serving people, and I really find this journey an evolution. So I need to thank the most important people in the room, and that's all of you. I want to thank you, each of you, for being here today in community. It's hard, it's raining outside, there's a pandemic going on, we're not feeling the safest being together in community, but you chose to be here tonight. You chose to show up. And showing up is half the battle, right? In fact, if this is your first time here in City Hall, can you just raise your hand? First time here in City Hall. Welcome. Welcome home. This is the people's house. This is your house. And just as you showed up here today, I hope that you continue to show up every Monday evening right here, same time, same station, to advocate for the things that you care about. Because showing up is the most important factor in creating and improving our community. So le quiero dar las gracias a todos que vinieron hoy para estar en comunidad juntos. Esto es la casa tuya, esto es el hogar, esto es la casa de la comunidad del pueblo. Esto es donde tú vienes para apoyar las cosas que son importantes para la comunidad de nosotros. So, bienvenidos. Si esto es la primera vez que tú estás aquí o si esto es muchas veces que tú has visitado, venga para atrás, siempre para apoyar la comida y para la comunidad y el pueblo. So we made history together on November 2nd, and we're making history today. And I am incredibly humbled and proud to be able to be the first. But this campaign was never about being the first. It was about really creating a legacy for the fourth and the fifth and the sixth after me. And there aren't many opportunities that we have in life to say that we've been the first to do something. And while we should come together to honor and celebrate this milestone, it means nothing if we don't create meaningful change in the lives of our people. It means nothing if we don't speak truth to power, if we aren't brave and strong in our convictions, and bring those farthest from justice closer to opportunity and equity. And yes, I said we, because we can't wait for people in elected positions or in other positions of power or leadership to create the city that we want to be. It's up to each of us, because it has always been and it will always be, but for the people that change happens. So how do we work together? I'm going to ask us to do a few things. First, we need to build community. So we're all going to take a minute right now, and I want you to turn to your neighbor. And if you came with your neighbor, I want you to turn to the person in back of you or to the side of you or down the road from you. And I want you to just say hello, and I want you to introduce yourself. And you can give them a fist bump or elbow bump. Be careful, we're a little close. But go ahead and do that right now. So first of all, isn't that nice? I was dying up here. I wanted to hug every single person who came up here. So congratulations. This is the first step. We need to get to know each other again, especially after a pandemic that has kept us apart. Getting to know your neighbors. This is creating community and proximity to each other so that we can see each other's humanity and celebrate our differences instead of using them as barriers. Community is where we begin to fight for each other instead of against each other. And that is where change happens. That's when change becomes possible. Next, we all need to lead. Join your area commission meetings, become a mentor, engage in your community in the small ways and the big ways. Your voice, your perspective, your presence has power. Use it to work alongside of us to build a future for our city that is rooted in the prosperity of our people and our families. And lastly, and y'all, this is important with the past couple years that we've had, we cannot lose hope. Our city is growing and changing, and that change can be hard and uncomfortable, and it will bring its challenges. And these challenges are challenges that have always existed, but we feel them more acutely now because of growing pains and a pandemic that is changing our world day by day, how we live and how we work. But it is not insurmountable if we work together, if we root for and fight for each other, if we stay hungry and bold and create a vision for what could be instead of only focusing on the obstacles that hold us back from our collective greatness. As I look around this council chamber today, I see elders whose shoulders we stand on, and I see the future of our city asking us to do better. In the paraphrasing the words of the great John Lewis, my feet may be tired, but my soul is rested. So I cannot ask of you to do many things without committing what I will do with you and for you. I commit to always fight for you and for us, to invite more voices and perspectives to the table so that our communities see themselves in their leaders. And I commit to putting service before politics because that is the job after all. I leave you with a quote today by activist and organizer Dolores Huerta. Every moment is an organizing opportunity. Every person, a potential activist. Every minute, a chance to change the world. I look forward to standing in these moments together. Muchas gracias, mi gente.
Qué honor. Qué placer, qué tan llenos están nuestros corazones. Y es con tanto gusto que les presento a ustedes a nuestra concejal, Lourdes Barroso de Padilla. Un placer. What an honor, what a pleasure. Our hearts are bursting with joy. And nothing better than speaking on the most beautiful tongue the good Lord knows, of Spanish, so that we can fully express the pride that we feel for our Lourdes Barroso de Padilla. I think that by now, members of City Council, you are going to start getting the hint that we're going to make you bilingual, trilingual, multilingual very soon. Because as it is often told of us, people of Hispanic heritage in the state of Ohio, we are the trailblazers. As you go, so go the rest of us. That puts on us a great privilege and a tremendous responsibility. And as it has been very well articulated by our councilwoman, We take the responsibility with respect, we take it with honor, and we give it all our best to continue to be public servants and servants of our communities so that everyone in our city and our state feels welcome, feels respected, and feels that they have the ability to reach that full potential, God-given potential that they should receive the opportunity to have. It's been wonderful to hear from our leaders, and we want to thank you for your words of wisdom for Lourdes. Definitely, you are her support team, along with all of us members of the community. This program is so meaningful to all of us, from all the volunteers that have been working with Lourdes through the campaign trail, to all the friends who have listened to her, to everyone that has supported her. And we know there are lots of members of our community that are not here tonight, but to all of you, we want to once again say thank you, thank you, thank you. Muchas gracias, because without you, nothing could happen at this level. And our speakers told us of many key words that we need to remember. They're telling us that community is power, but more importantly, service is power. They have challenged us to persevere, and we know of a young lady who is very perseverant, but alongside with her, we will be there. They remind us of our values and the things that made us come here, and all those people upon whose shoulders we stand today. And they also talk to us about curiosity, humility. Don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to speak with an accent. Don't be afraid to get all nervous and forget completely English and don't even remember your native tongue. That happens to us quite often. It's all okay. As long as we are trying, we are together in this. And I think that with all of this effort behind our councilwoman, there's not a limit that we will not be able to achieve, because together we are so strong. And to bring this time closer to an end, we want to bring Amaris Lemus, and she will be reading for us a poem by Cuban poet Richard Blanco. Amaris.
Hi, everyone. Pues buenas. I'm really excited, honored, and very proud to be part of this team with Lourdes. She's been a big inspiration and a huge motivation, and honestly just a joy to be around since, I guess, shortly after I moved to Columbus, which has been a little over 2 years ago. So thank you. The poem I'm going to be reading is called Next Horizon, and as Lilleana shared, it is by Richard Blanco, who is the first immigrant, first Latino, and first openly gay person to be a U.S. inaugural poet. So he often writes about his experience as an immigrant, and this poem is a timely reminder for the work that we have ahead of us. So, we rise from all that's raised us, from the winds of our real or imagined homelands billowing through sugarcane fields or prairies dotted with wildflowers, from the hum of island sea songs or the waves of desert dunes. We rise. From the tears of rainforest waterfalls or the falling sparkle of snowflakes, from knitted rows of corn or the tangle of pine tree forests, from across the streets or across continents, we rise. At times, maybe we lose our way, but we always find the stars of our ancestry charted across the skies. And guess what? We rise. From the sway of merengue or the swagger of reggae, from hip-hop hooks or the plucks of sitar strings, from calypso drums pinging or cumbia skirts whirling, from the shuffle of samba or clonk of a country two-step, we rise. At times we may stumble, but we keep dancing. We find our rhythm again, and we rise. From flaky pastelitos or plantain pasteles, que ya tengo hambre, from stuffed burritos or spicy beef patties, from gooey cachitos or pao de queijo, from fried falafels or grilled arepas, from dollops of hummus or ladles of matzo ball soup, from the aroma of curry or café con leche, we rise with all the flavors that our heritage sustains us with. We feed our hunger, and again we rise. From temple kaddish or Buddhist alms, from the incense of mantras or hymns of stained glass churches, from the call of minarets or the rapture of Sunday gospel choirs. From offerings of apples or candy to our deities, we rise. At times, may we doubt, but we keep searching for the divine in us, and we rise. We rise from the sounds of our names. I am Joshua, yo soy Joaquin, soy Samantha, I am Ahmed, I am Yi Chung, I am Ajibola, I'm Edwidge, I'm Edward, I'm Aditi, I'm Maya, I'm Martin, soy Paulo, I'm Pak Sun, I'm Rajesh, I am both Richard and Ricardo. I am because we all are, and together we rise, despite everything that's tried to keep us from rising. Out of countries attacked by greed and gunfire, we rise. Out of the ache of slavery's back or the careworn hands of migrant farmers, we rise. Out of the river currents and white-capped oceans we've dared to cross, we rise. Out of one-parent homes, one-bedroom apartments, we rise. Out of all those who told us que no se podía, that we couldn't, we rise. And out of what we damn well dream, we rise. We are the resolve of mountains, the relentless spirit of clouds, and our thirst for the rain of knowledge. We're the courage of revolutions and the humility of peace. We're the promise of created equal and the pursuit of happiness. And so we rise with all the instinct and the drive of the sun, because there's always another horizon, and another, to reach for and to keep lighting up with our light. Thank you. And so to close out this beautiful program, please welcome Eva Padilla Barroso and Maya Talley. Thank you.
Thank you, Amaris, and another thank you to all of our speakers. As you entered this space today, you each received what we call a capia. These are small tokens of gratitude that hosts give to guests at events, from birthday parties to weddings.
The capias today feature a cardinal that honors our families' Ohio roots, and the idea that when a cardinal crosses your path, they represent someone you love that has passed on. It's a small way we are honoring our grandfather and aunt who are with us today in spirit.
We hope that you will join us as we continue the celebration just down the street at Palmas Tropical Escape. The address is on your programs. Please get home safely. We hope to see you again soon.
Have her sign and you sign before she gets away from us. So much. Thank you.
Yes, I'll take one. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have you sign, yes. Yeah.
Today is the 16th. Now, if you want to do like a nice official one with my stamp and all that stuff on nice piece of paper, yes, we can do that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Yeah.